In this video, I'm going to show you how to repair an expandable garden hose using just a few simple tools and my secret weapon, popsicle sticks. I posted a short about this a while back and had a bunch of people request a more detailed explanation, so hopefully you'll stick around and I'll show you my step-by-step process. So the first thing you want to do is fill the hose and locate the leak. Then I find a spot about 12 inches or so from the leak. I'm using a pair of vice grip pliers to pinch the hose at this location. You can use another clamp if you have it, but I find these vice grips work great. After using the first clamp, I pinched another location about 12 inches from the leak on the other side, so I'm at about 24-inch spacing between my clamps. The idea here is to hold the internal hose and prevent it from retracting when I shut down the water. If I don't do this, I will lose my location because the hose will just retract while the water is released and I'll have to start all over. Then I can make a cut right at the leak location. I disconnected the hose from the hose bib and opened the nozzle at the other end. This allows the water to drain out, the pressure is reduced, and the hose can retract. Next, I'm going to pull the outer sheathing as far as it'll stretch. I locate the internal hose and cut the outer sheathing flush with that point. I had to do it twice on one side because I didn't cut enough off, so you might have to repeat that process if you don't pull it far enough, because you want to get it pretty close to flush with the internal hose. Then you can retract the outer sheathing again, which will now expose the inner hose, which makes it so much easier to work with. A very important note, for my situation, I had a single location with a crack. You might have a few pinholes right near each other at the location of the leak. I've had that before. It kind of becomes a little more difficult, but if you do have that, you'll just have to cut out a section of that internal hose. So what you want to do is you want to increase that 12-inch spacing that I started with and make it, 24 inches, 36 inches. Make it nice and far away because, as you see, that 12-inch spacing reduces down to only a few inches, so you want to make sure that you're far enough so you can cut out that whole damaged section. Now that the crack has been cut out of the hose, it's time to put it back together. You'll need a 3/8 barbed brass nipple and 2 small band clamps. You can get this stuff on Amazon. I'll leave a link below, or you can pick it up from the local hardware store or big box store. Just make sure you get band clamps that are small enough for the 3/8 pipe because they have all different sizes, and if you don't get one small enough, this won't work. I've tried this next step a few different ways, but I found that the best method is to use popsicle sticks. These are just cheap sticks that I buy from Amazon. I usually use them to mix paints and other finishes, so I already had them. They worked perfectly here. This is the hardest part of this process, so take your time and try not to get frustrated. The function of the popsicle sticks is to open up the hose wide enough for the new brass fitting without using tools or methods that could damage the hose. I originally had tried using pliers and things to spread it apart and make it, but you'll end up cutting the hose, so you have to be really careful. The wood protects the hose as the barbed fitting is installed. Then once it's fully installed, you can wiggle the sticks back out, then repeat the process for the other side. After both sides are done, you'll want to slide that outer sheathing over the new fitting. This is really important. I've made this mistake before. Don't put the band clamps directly on the inner hose. It'll just slice through it and you'll have to start all over. The other sheathing helps to protect that inner hose from damage. Then tighten both band clamps over the new sheathing. One last thing I like to do is wrap it in tape. I use electrical tape because it has some elasticity to it, so I think that it works well for this situation. But you can really use any tape. The important thing here is to cover that metal. It's very sharp and you don't want anyone to get hurt on it. And you also don't want it to potentially cut another part of the hose while you're dragging it around. Okay, time to turn the water back on and test for leaks. If there are still leaks, then you'll have to just repeat the process and cut off a little more of the hose. This is obviously not a beautiful repair. This is a functional repair. I use this hose to water plants. It doesn't have to look nice. I just got sick of constantly replacing things every year, sometimes even mid-year. Also, if the leak is close to the hose bib, they make a 3/8 barbed fitting with a garden hose attachment on the other side. I'll try to find a link for that fitting and put it in the description. I did that once when the connection to the house broke. It worked perfectly. Pretty much the same process as this, but you'll only need one band clamp. The other side will be the connection to the hose bit. Alright guys, hopefully this helped some of you with your repair. If so, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips like this. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.